The time has come. It is the week everybody has been waiting for. It is UFC 300 Fight Week. We are only, as of right now, I'm not going to count the days, I don't know. Like 6 days away. Okay? Think about it. We are 3 days away from the media day, 4 days away from the press conference, 5 days away from the weigh-ins, and 6 days away from the fucking why am I forgetting from the fight day? I don't know why I fucking stumbled my words on that, but today I'm gonna be giving my predictions and my breakdowns on every fight, and we're just gonna go through the entire card because you can't miss a single fight on this entire card. That's how good it is. And starting off, we have the banger. Absolute, you know this is a good card when they have Cody Garbrandt, Davis, and Figueiredo starting it off. So under any normal circumstances, I would probably pick Davis and Figueiredo. But there is this little motherfucker who replied to my comment on a post saying I was dreaming if there was even a chance of Cody Garbrandt winning. Because I said, I see the likely universe of Davis and Figueiredo either knocks out Cody Garbrandt in the first round or just knocks him out in general because he has the power advantage. He's a big fucking strong dude. Or if Cody Garbrandt tries to shoot in for a takedown, then Davison catches him in a guillotine and subs him. But that I also said I see a universe where Cody Garbrandt utilizes his speed, his better boxing, head movement, and footwork in order to dance around Figgy and beat him over the course of 3 rounds, 30-27. Because I think Cody Garbrandt, in terms of technical striking and skill, is better than Davis and Figueiredo. And some little motherfucker decided to comment, you're dreaming. You think someone can make a comeback? Or you think someone can improve and be sharper and faster at 32 compared to when they were 25? Yeah, fuck you. I hope you rot in hell. So you know what I'm doing? I'm picking Cody Garbrandt by 30-27 decision. I think he is going to utilize his footwork. I think he's going to utilize his speed. And I think he's going to utilize head movement and good boxing technique in order to beat Davis and Figueiredo over the course of 3 rounds. And honestly, Cody Garbrandt has some pretty heavy hands too. So I see a universe where Cody Garbrandt has the perfect moment. Davis and Figueiredo throws a jab. He slips and counters with an overhand. What is Davison? Orthodox? Okay. Cody Garbrandt slips on the, let me see. Slips on the inside, counters with an overhand right. Rocks Davis and Figueiredo. Goes in for the kill, and he finishes Davis and Figueiredo. I see that happening, but the most likely outcome is Cody Garbrandt dances around him, utilizes better boxing, good low kicks, speed, head movement, and footwork, and he beats Davis and Figueiredo over the course of 3 rounds. Davis and Figueiredo's aging. His gas tank isn't known to be the best. Yes, since he's moved up, it's been better, but I think a guy like Rob Font was kind of just like the best possible matchup. Maybe I'm just delusional, but I don't see Rob Font with too much head movement. I see him sticking behind a jab and kind of moving a bit out of range and kind of like taking the brunt of shots on his arms and just blocking. So I think Cody Garbrandt and Rob Font doesn't have as good a footwork. He doesn't utilize angles as well as Garbrandt. So I'm picking Cody Garbrandt just because of that little fucker. Normally I would pick, in any other universe, I'm picking Davis and Figueiredo by knockout. But that little fucker pissed me off, so I'm picking Cody Garbrandt. Next up, you know what it is. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. I'm picking Bobby Green. Okay, Jim Miller, he's a strong, he's a good grappler. He has good striking, good low kicks. I think that his style of striking is too technically sound in a sense. It's too fundamental, and he's shorter than Bobby Green. If someone is shorter and has very solid, like fundamental, simplistic, like very good basic boxing and striking, he's able to read them very easily, and he's able to slip and use his movement that he has to stay away from them. I mean, he's been caught by who? Drew Dober, but that's because Drew Dober is just a Chad, marched his way in, and just threw the same right hook 3 times. Or I think it was a left hook. He threw the same left hook 3 times and just eventually caught Bobby. And he has just incredible power, so you can't take Drew Dober on the chin. Uh, Jaylen Turner, just a giant, had a like 6-inch reach advantage, like 5-inch height advantage, and like a 30-pound weight advantage. All of his shots were gonna hit harder than Bobby's, and Jaylen Turner's style was just, and length and build was just bad for Bobby. Who else? What Fazeev was able to catch him, but then again, Fazeev's also like an extremely fast, explosive fighter. Really good, fast, explosive, strikes. I don't see Jim Miller being as fast and explosive as a Rafael Fazeev, or hitting as hard or connecting as clean as a Drew Dober, Jaylen Turner. So I think Bobby Green will be able to, beat Jim Miller over the course of, what is it? I don't know why I'm forgetting words right now. Over the course of 3 rounds. I don't know why. I'm just like forgetting words. And I think that overall, Bobby Green is just going to be able to use his unorthodox movement and striking to be able to piece up Jim Miller over 3 rounds. I could see Jim Miller maybe getting a submission, taking him down. Bobby Green's takedown defense isn't like amazing, but it's enough. He has a decent takedown defense because of his wrestling background, so I can see Bobby Green maybe stuffing all the takedowns. I do think it's a really early comeback for Bobby Green. I don't like that he's coming back so soon after a bad stoppage, but I don't. Then again, I can see him, just somehow making a comeback and winning, but I'm not. It's not like 100% confidence thing. Next up, Jessica Andrade and Marina Rodriguez. Oh, let me. What was Marina Rodriguez's last fight? Michelle Waterson Gomez? Oh. What? Vienna Jandiroba lost to Amanda Lemos. I'm going to go with Jessica Andrade. I think right now she has momentum after KOing... What's her face? Why am I forgetting? She has momentum after KOing Mackenzie Dern, that's who. And, yeah, she's shorter and stockier, but I just think she'll be able to, connect on Marina Rodriguez and be able to knock her out maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round. Jaylen Turner, Renato Moicano. This is a much closer matchup than people think, because I think if Moicano can get this to the ground, then I can see him very easily finding a submission on Jaylen Turner, because Moicano's submission ability is a lot better than anyone Jaylen Turner has faced. Like, who? Dan Hooker. He almost got subbed by Dan Hooker. Oh, what the fuck? He almost got submitted by Dan Hooker. Who else? Matt Frevola. Matt Frevola, at this point, he's known for his... I don't want to watch this. This makes me super sad. He's not really known for... At this point, he's more known for his, like, one-punch knockout power. Fucking Vicente Luque just knocked him out. Doesn't matter. Mateusz Gamrot can barely hold down a fly. Mateusz Gamrot's not notorious for his submission. He's notorious for his chain wrestling and his good scrambles. So I think that I can also see Jalen Turner just connecting on Moicano and then just like sparking him out cold. But I truly do think that Moicano is just going to be able to. I think he's going to back him, Turner up against the fence. I think he's going to clinch him, and I think he's going to trip him. And I think from there he'll be able to. I think from there he'll be able to, progress positions and find the submission. So I'm going to go with Renato Moicano by round two submission. Who have I picked so far? Cody Garbrandt, Bobby Green, Andrade, Moicano. I picked how many? Two underdogs already? Fuck. Well, people aren't going to like the third one. Sadiq Youssef versus Diego Lopez. I'm going to be going with Sadiq Youssef. I think because a lot of people are riding that Diego Lopez hype train right now, and I get it. He is very talented, but I think a big, kind of stocky, strong guy like Youssef, in his last fight, he had a dog fight against Barbosa, but he kind of blew his gas tank early. I was about to say, I'm not even gonna repeat it because it sounds gay. He blew his gas tank really early, trying to go for the finish, and he almost got it. But I think with more explosive ability and a calmer Sadiq Youssef, he will be able to get this done. I don't see Sadiq Youssef doing anything stupid like, trying to, clinch with Diego Lopez or trying to grapple with Diego Lopez, because that'd be foolish. He is going to be 100% matched out. He's going to be 100% outmatched against Diego Lopez. He almost got put in an anaconda. He almost got put in an anaconda against Edson Barbosa. And I just don't see him being foolish enough to take it to the ground against a guy like Diego Lopez. I think he recognizes the hype, but I think Sadiq Youssef with the crisper boxing and, possibly even faster and heavier hands than Lopez, I see him being able to, counter Lopez, land the better shots earlier on, maybe chop away at the leg, land good body shots. I do see Sadiq Youssef getting hurt in the second round. I think Diego Lopez will be able to connect once in the second and, kind of stumble him back, make his legs buckle a bit, kind of like not like with the Barbosa wheel kick, but more so like in the first round against Gabriel Benitez, Sadiq Youssef. I see something like that happening, but then I see, Youssef recovering. He loses that round. It's 1-1 going into third, and I think he just repeats the first round, chops away with the low kicks, lands the better shots, and I think he beats Lopez 29-28 unanimous decision. Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. Now, this all comes down to, does Kayla Harrison make the weight? And how easily does she make the weight? Because if she doesn't make that weight easy, Holly Holm could knock her out. But I'm going to go with Kayla Harrison because Holly Holm is a lot older. Kayla Harrison's younger, judoka. I could just see her, grabbing Holly Holm, throwing her to the ground, and then just beating her up on the ground. Then again, I could see Holly Holm getting that win, but I'm going to go with Kayla Harrison for this one. I haven't watched a lot of Kayla Harrison, and you can't fucking make me watch a lot of Kayla Harrison. I'm not excited for this fight. This is not a women's fight I'm excited for. Andrade Rodriguez, I can get excited for that. Xiaonan Weili, I can get excited for that. I'm not getting excited for this. Kattar versus Sterling. This is another big one. This is another very big fight. These are all huge fights. What am I talking about? Except this fucking piece of shit on the pay-per-view. Yeah, suck my dick, Dana White. I'm going to be going with Aljamain Sterling. I've been watching Aljo in sparring, and I've been watching his videos, and from what I've seen, he's been improving a lot in the striking, and I think that's good because Kattar is a very, very deadly striker. You don't wanna you don't want to go into a fight with Calvin Kattar unprepared. And I think if Aljo can properly utilize his wrestling and not make the same mistake like he did against O'Malley, I think he'll be able to. I think he'll be able to either submit Kattar or get a 29-28 decision. Cause the thing is, if he makes like one mistake, Kattar can capitalize, counter with an elbow, land a good hook or an uppercut, and Kattar carries some heat in his hands, and he could hurt Aljo and end up finishing him. But I do see Aljo being able to, use his wrestling background and his grappling abilities to be able to get Kattar to the ground and possibly find the submission. Yuri Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic. I'm gonna go with Yuri Prochazka. This comes down to really, can Alexander Rakic hold him down and make it a boring fight, or can Yuri use his awkward, lanky style and weird movement and find the shot on Rakic? And I think Yuri will be able to find that shot on Rakic. He carries some bombs in his hand, and people don't realize this. And I'm going to say this because this is going to be able to attest to Pereira's chin and my argument for why I'm going to pick Pereira. Yeah, I'm picking Pereira. You should have known by the thumbnail I was going to pick that motherfucker. But Yuri has a really good 1-2. And he has serious power in his hands. And people like to think that because Pereira got slept by Adesanya, the gyno bender, motherfucker has massive titties, dude. I don't know what you're on about. And he was cutting a lot of weight to get down to 85. He's massive for 85. I think that because if you look at Yuri's fights, he's had 4 fights. Still, he was able to hurt Glover with a 1-2. Able to stumble Glover back with the 1-2. Volkan Ozdemir, he landed the 1-2, and he literally had Volkan Ozdemir's feet coming off the ground when he landed it and put Ozdemir to sleep. He was hurting Dominic Reyes with the 1-2. Then he didn't sleep Reyes with it, but he was hurting Reyes with the 1-2. And I just think if he lands that same 1-2 on Rakic, because Rakic is a very lean kind of person. I think if he lands that 1-2, I think he can whip Rakic's head around, and I think he'll knock Rakic out with it. I have Yuri Prochazka round 2 KO. Same thing that happened against Ozdemir. Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage. Let's just keep this straight. Okay, Cody Brundage is a quitter. He quit against Cedricus Dumas. He did the same thing against Jacob Malkoun. He got a DQ victory there. He got a slam KO against Zach Reese, but who cares, dude? Bo Nickel's gonna fucking shit on him. I'm not even gonna talk about this fight. Next up, Arman Tsarukyan versus Charles Oliveira. I'm going with Charles Oliveira. The time off for Oliveira has been good. It's gonna benefit his chin. He hasn't really gotten hurt or eaten a big shot or some blow that could drop him since October of 2022. And it is now April 2024. His chin has had a lot of time to probably prepare and regenerate and just come back to him. And so I think he's longer than Arman, and I think he has much more of what Arman Tsarukyan was having takedowns stuffed by Joaquim Silva on a week's notice, 2 weeks notice. He was getting dropped. And eating huge left hooks by a guy who came in for a paycheck on 2 weeks notice, Joaquim Silva. All right, he was, getting his back taken at points by Mateus Gamrot. What else? What else has there been? He was struggling to hold down Damir Ismagulov. Damir Ismagulov was getting out of all of Arman Tsarukyan's takedowns. You know whose takedowns Demir didn't get out of? Grant Dawson. Now I know Arman has been training with Grant Dawson. I've seen the pictures. I just think that Olivera is. I just think his jiu-jitsu is going to be a problem. I think on the feet he's a lot better than people think, and I don't think Arman hits as hard as people think. Let's be fair. Olivera kind of like mushed up his brains, and then they said, "Hey, fight Arman Tsarukyan," and he was like, okay." And I don't think Arman carries. I think he's as good as people say. I just don't think people understand that Oliveira's better than what they think. Arman is definitely as good as people say. Oliveira is just better than what people think. And I think he's going to be able to find. Oliveira carries some bombs in his hand. Okay, he carries some heat in his hands. Again, I've been saying that about a lot of fighters, but he does carry good heat in his hands. He dropped Gaethje bad, dropped Chandler bad, TKO'd Chandler. You know who didn't do that? Gaethje. You know who hasn't dropped Gaethje? I don't fucking know who hasn't dropped Gaethje. I'll think of someone who's a good striker. But I just think I think on the ground too, Oliver's transitions, I think he'll be able to find submissions off his back, threaten Arman with submissions, and I think eventually he's gonna find Arman's back, and I think he's gonna find the choke, and I think he's gonna put Arman Tsarukyan to sleep in the second round with a rear naked choke. Next up, we have Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Oh, people aren't gonna like me for this one. I'm picking Max Holloway. Oh right, let me do this. I'm picking Max Holloway. People like to talk about like, oh, Gaethje's gonna stiff him, Gaethje's gonna sleep him. Gaethje by vicious one punch KO. Who is Gaethje really one punch KO'd? Donald Cerrone. We saw what happened to Cerrone after that fight. Big downfall, and that was after Tony Ferguson got the TKO. Who else? What? James Vick has no chin. Edson Barbosa, he KO'd him with a right hand, and he hit him on the side that Barbosa got eye poked and couldn't see from. And Barbosa isn't notorious for a good chin. Barbosa's not notorious at all for a good chin. Who else? Who else has Gaethje one punch KO'd? James Big. Like, he couldn't drop Tony Ferguson. He wasn't dropping Michael Chandler with Michael Johnson, with one punch. He couldn't TKO a Michael Chandler. People like to talk about this. He didn't drop Chandler, who has a suspect chin, till like what, round 3? Rafael Fiziev, he was landing clean uppercuts and hooks on Fiziev, and he couldn't drop him. And you want to talk about the Poirier fight? He landed a perfect head kick on Poirier. Okay, anyone can land a perfect head kick and then knock someone out. Max Holloway, 8 perfect head kicks off of Yair Rodriguez. I think at 155, Holloway's going to be bigger. I think he's going to be stronger. He's going to hit a little bit harder. We all know that's going to be a fact. Holloway doesn't have super big power, but then again, the way he fights he's not trying to generate a lot of power. I think Max Holloway is going to be able to eat Gaethje's shots because he's going to be bigger. I think he's going to have, a stronger, his neck. I think his neck and traps are going to be stronger. They're going to help absorb the impact. He's not going to weight cut as much. And even then, when Holloway sits down on the shots, he can generate some serious, whipping head power. And people like to talk about how Holloway gets hit all the time. Man, Holloway has improved his defense against the Korean Zombie at moments when people thought he was landing good on Holloway. Holloway was blocking a lot of shots. He was blocking and slipping and moving a lot of shots, ducking a lot of shots. So I just see Holloway putting a pace on Gaethje that Gaethje he could probably last in, but he's not going to be able to keep up with. I think Holloway's going to be a step ahead, and I think Holloway maybe round 4 or round 5 TKO. How many underdogs is that? I picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 underdogs. Okay. Fuck. Oh, I picked 6 underdogs, dude. Alright. Jiangu Lee versus Yan Xiaonan. I'm going with Jiangu Lee. We've seen Yan Xiaonan struggle with grapplers in the past, and we've seen how Jiangu Lee has improved her grappling. I think she's going to take down Yan Xiaonan, and I think she's going to beat the fuck out of her on the ground. Simple as. Yeah, we've seen... Yeah, people are going to be like, well, Yan Xiaonan knocked out Jessica Andrade. Hey, you want to see something funny? You guys want to see something real funny? It was her first KO. It was literally her first KO. Congratulations. Your first KO was Jessica Andrade. Andrade got rocked by Mackenzie Dern. Carla Esparza, a good grappler, TKO'd her. Mackenzie Dern was able to find success against her. And I think Jiangu Lee just also has great striking combined with great grappling. I think she'll be able to find Xiaonan on the feet. I think she'll be able to find and beat up Xiaonan on the ground, and Jiangu Lee's second round ground and pound TKO. Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. I'm picking Alex Pereira. We know this. Now, the reason being, first off, let's talk about Pereira's chin. Fuck off with this already. Pereira, I think he has a lot better chin at light heavyweight than people make it out to be. And, again, I mentioned Yuri Prohaska fucking launching Volkan Ozdemir off the ground with that 1-2. He was landing good 1-2s on Pereira, and Pereira didn't look... He reacted to them, but he didn't look too hurt. Matter of fact, he was able to move backwards, find an opening, and fucking counter with a right hand left hook, drop Yuri and KO him. And I think that people really underestimate Pereira's chin, and I think they really overestimate Jamal Hill's boxing, because he's very, very open on the feet for left and right hook counters. His hands are very down. He doesn't bring his hands back up. He doesn't utilize this crazy head movement. Okay? Thiago Santos was able to... And again, yes, he's taking big shots off these power punchers, but Pereira is actually just different. For some reason, when Pereira lands that left hook, fighters they just go to sleep. Some fighters just can't take the left hook. Like what? Who is he KO'd that's notorious for a good chin? Yuri Prohaska had a pretty good chin. Alright? Sean Strickland has a good chin, and you can't convince me otherwise, okay? Sean Strickland, in his fight against Dricus du Plessis and against Cannonier, he was eating big right hands, good shots from Cannonier. And, damn, I'm just watching this. Fuck. Sorry. Sean Strickland was eating head kicks. He was eating head kicks and big right hands off Dricus du Plessis. Huge looping overhand rights. He was just eating off Dricus, and we've seen the power that Dricus carries. And with one left hook, he was able to drop Sean Strickland. So I think Pereira's going to find the opening for that left hook. I think he's going to drop Jamal Hill, and I think he's going to KO him. Okay? Pereira his left hook is just different. When that left hook connects clean, people just for some reason can't take it. And if Glover Teixeira and Thiago Santos are able to find openings on you consistently, and you can go rewatch. I'm not showing any of his fights because I don't even care enough. You guys can go rewatch Jamal Hill's fights against Glover and Santos. He was eating some bombs against both of them. So I can't trust Jamal Hill. When this fight first got announced, I was leaning towards Hill, but just like rewatching his fights and thinking about it and looking it over, I can't bet against Alex Pereira. I'm gonna go Alex Pereira round one, late round one, KO, left hook counter, and yeah, I think Alex Pereira pulls it off. So that's gonna be it for my predictions and breakdowns of this fight. It's the greatest, it's the best fight card in the history of the UFC and maybe in the history of combat sports. Is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 former champions. Fucking every fight is a ranked fighter besides Bo Nickel. Some absolute legends of the sport: Jim Miller, Bobby Green. We got fucking Holm. I know, not too much of a legend, but Aljo, fucking Yuri, Olivera, Holloway, Gaethje, Pereira. We have legends of the sport. It's a great card, and I hope you know I'm not missing a single fucking fight on this, or I'm gonna nut in my pants, in a bad way. But yeah, that's my prediction and breakdown of UFC 300. Tell me what you guys think down below. And that little motherfucker who said Cody Garbrandt has no chance of winning, hey, go fuck yourself, you little bitch. That's about it. See ya.